Hello and a very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television with me, Frank Pereira. Let's begin this bulletin with the headlines. Short duration discussion in the Rajya Sabha over prevailing drought and heat wave condition in the country. Government reforms. Lok Sabha, 116 farmers have committed suicide so far this year. Supreme Court hearing on President's rule in Uttarakhand to continue today. Congress adamant on discussion on the matter. Centre says matter sub judice. BJP seeks to corner Congress in Parliament. Party to demand discussion on Augusta Westland chopper scam. Congress denies allegations. Questions why company was removed from the blacklist by the Modi government. HRD Minister suggestions to IITs to teach Sanskrit comes in for all-round criticism from opposition parties. Congress accuses Centre of imposing its agenda. AAP calls suggestion absurd. And Donald Trump sweeps all 5 US states that voted in the primaries on Tuesday. Hillary Clinton bags 3 wins, take the 2 closer to nominations for presidential race. Well, there will be a short duration discussion in the Rajya Sabha over the prevailing drought situation in the country. The discussion will be initiated by A.U. Singh Deo of the BJD. MPs will raise the issue of the serious situation arising out of the prevailing drought and heat wave conditions. The resultant water crisis will also come up for discussion. The leaders will also discuss remedial measures taken by the government to tackle the situation. As per government figures, more than 25% of the population and 254 districts were reeling under the natural catastrophe, and more than 2.55 lakh villages were under the grip of the drought. Meanwhile, the centre has informed that 116 farmers have committed suicide due to agrarian reasons so far this year. The maximum cases have been reported in Maharashtra, followed by Punjab and Telangana. This information was disclosed by Minister of State for Agriculture Mohan Kundaria in Parliament on Tuesday. As per the data, more than 2,000 farmers' suicide cases were reported due to agrarian reasons in 2015, with the highest number of 1,841 cases in Maharashtra alone. As per the data, 57 cases of farmers' suicides were reported in Maharashtra on February 29th this year, while 56 farm labourers' suicide cases in Punjab were registered on March 11th. In Telangana, there were 3 cases. The minister also informed that the centre has approved a 12,700 crore rupees relief package to 10 states affected by drought. Besides the relief package, the minister also informed that the centre has taken other measures to deal with the situation of drought. This includes implementation of diesel seed subsidy and relaxed norms under Manrega to provide additional employment of 50 days over and above the 100 days per household in areas affected by natural calamities. Meanwhile, the centre has informed the Supreme Court that it is alive to the situation prevailing in the drought-hit areas, and states are working hard to provide every possible relief to the farmers in such natural calamity-hit areas. The Additional Solicitor General told the court that it was an incorrect assessment to make to say that nothing is done and nothing is working at the ground level. The ASG said this in response to the report by Belgian-born Indian development economist Jean Drezé and NGO Swaraj Abhiyan regarding the relief not being given to farmers. The ASG also said that there has been no dereliction of duty on anyone's part, as whatever is provided in the statute is being followed. The bench, after hearing the arguments, reserved its judgment on the matter. Earlier on April 19th, the Apex Court had told the centre that whether it was not its responsibility to warn the states about the drought-like situation likely to prevail in the near future. The NGO, in its revised prayer, has sought a direction to the centre to abide by the provisions of the Manrega Act and use it for employment generation in drought-affected areas. Meanwhile, the BJP has issued a whip asking all its Rajya Sabha members to be present in Parliament all of this week. The BJP is ensuring full attendance as the government plans to push some important bills in the upper house. The Enemy Property Bill, the Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill and the Constitution Order Bill are among the bills likely to be taken up this week. NDA's strength has increased in the upper house following the nomination of 6 new members but it still remains in a minority, making the presence of every member crucial to push the government's legislative agenda. The party had earlier issued a whip for its Lok Sabha members to ensure their presence for voting on parliamentary committees, including PAC and Estimates Committee. Well, the issue of imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand remained at the centre stage on day 2 of the session in Rajya Sabha on Tuesday. With their demand for immediate discussion on the matter rejected by the government, Congress members shouted slogans and trooped into the well, leading to repeated adjournments. Here's more.
Congress MPs found support from other opposition parties as they once again raised the issue of imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand in the upper house. Congress leaders Anand Sharma and Pramod Tiwari and Samajwadi Party MP Naresh Agrawal gave notices under Rule 267 seeking suspension of business to take up discussion on the matter. BSP Chief Mayawati also lent support to this demand.
Any condition, 167 has the condition on sub judice, and 176 short duration discussion also does not have any condition. So this House has every right to discuss and to pass a resolution under 267.
मेरा ये मानना है कि आप इस पे सदन की राय ले लें, जो प्रस्ताव हमने दिया है, क्योंकि 267 में नियम है कि आप सदन की राय ले लें। अगर सदन सहमत है तो इस पे अभी से बहस शुरू हो जाएगी। सत्ता पक्ष के दबाव में बहस नहीं हो सकती।
हमारे देश में कई राज्यों में इस धारा का इस्तेमाल किया गया है और 356 का, लेकिन जिस मकसद से इसकी व्यवस्था की गई है तो उस मकसद से इसका कम इस्तेमाल किया गया, इसका राजनीतिकरण ज्यादा कर दिया गया है।
The government, however, rejected the demand, saying no discussion other than on proclamation of President's rule in Uttarakhand can take place. The finance minister also justified the imposition of central rule in the state.
It's never happened in 68 years of independence that presiding officers convert majorities into minorities and vice versa. If there is a discussion, we will certainly participate in, but the discussion will take place. The discussion will take place when the proclamation is before the House. The discussion will be on the proclamation. There is no procedure for having a pre-proclamation discussion under Article 356.
Slogan shouting by the Congress members led to repeated adjournments with no work being done in the question hour as well.
House is adjourned till 2 p.m.
In the post-lunch session, opposition members objected to the comments made by the finance minister on Speaker of the Uttarakhand Assembly.
आज मुझे बहुत अफसोस होता कि लीडर ऑफ हाउस खुद एक दूसरी विधानसभा उत्तराखंड के स्पीकर के बारे में कहते हैं कि उन्होंने माइनॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट को मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट करार दिया। तो ये दो मापदंड नहीं चलेंगे।
To this, the finance minister clarified that his remarks were about proceedings inside the assembly which led to a constitutional crisis in the state and not about the speaker's ruling.
We are not questioning the speaker's ruling. The courts can't question it. The simple question is, if the proceedings inside a house give a ground that there is a breakdown of a constitutional machinery. The case of the government is that the appropriation bill had been defeated in the assembly.
No, please.
You're saying no doesn't make a difference because 35 out of the 67 MLAs gave it in writing.
Not satisfied with the government's response, Congress members once again trooped into the well and shouted slogans leading to adjournment of proceedings for the day.
The House stands adjourned till 11 a.m. on Wednesday, 27th April.
Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court will hear the case of imposition of President's rule in Uttarakhand. The Apex Court had previously ruled that the High Court's judgment would remain in abeyance till April 27th, that is today. It also issued directions to the High Court to release the signed judgment by April 26 to all parties involved in the case. The parties involved have been subsequently asked to file copies before the apex court today. It was these 9 Congress legislators who triggered Uttarakhand's political uncertainty by backing the BJP in March. They were then disqualified from the assembly under the anti-defection law. The BJP has said that it is in favour of early assembly elections in the state, claiming it had rid the people of the state from a government engaged in loot. Moving on now, the BJP is seeking to corner the Congress by raising the issue of the Augusta Westland chopper scam, SL Max's scam and the Ishrat Jahan case in Parliament today. The BJP is seeking a discussion on the Augusta Westland chopper deal in a bid to step up its attack against Congress President Sonia Gandhi, whose name it alleged has appeared in the scandal. The ruling party members have already submitted notices while demanding a discussion on these issues. The party will also demand a discussion on the SL Max's scam, in which the role of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has been questioned. Hitting back at the BJP, the Congress has sought to know why was Augusta Westland removed from the blacklisted category by the Modi government. Rejecting the accusations levelled against the party in the deal, Congress leader and former Union Minister Anand Sharma said the chopper deal was scrapped and action was taken by the UPA government and company was blacklisted. Meanwhile, the CBI has approached External Affairs Ministry seeking help of diplomatic channels to get a copy of the Italian court's order in the Augusta Westland helicopter deal.
ए.के. एंथोनी, जो उस समय कांग्रेस के रक्षा मंत्री थे, उनसे एक सवाल किया है कि आपने मार्च 2013 में पब्लिकली कहा था, संभवतः 25 मार्च को, कि हाँ, इस मामले में घूस दी गई है और भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है। तो आज जब भ्रष्टाचार साबित हो गया ट्रायल के द्वारा, जहां इटली में कंपनी थी, तो क्या आपकी पार्टी के कोई नेता इसमें इन्वॉल्व है?
We only fought the case in Milan court in Italy. We won the case. We got all the money by winning the case through bank guarantee. The helicopters are with us. So now the present government must speed up the CBI inquiry.
In other news now, Union Minister Smriti Irani has come under fire for asking the Indian Institutes of Technology to teach Sanskrit language for facilitating the study of science and technology as reflected in its literature. Opposition parties accuse the government of imposing its agenda on one of the world's most prestigious institutions. While the Congress said that forcing students to learn Sanskrit is not apt, the Aam Aadmi Party said that making it a priority in IIT is absurd. The Education Minister also cited a report of a panel that had suggested that IITs may facilitate study of science and technology as reflected in Sanskrit literature, along with the interdisciplinary study of Sanskrit and modern subjects.
संस्कृत आप स्कूल में पढ़ाइए, अपने परिवारों में पढ़ाइए, हम भी अपने घर में बच्चों को संस्कृत पढ़ा रहे हैं, लेकिन आईआईटी जैसे संस्थान में जहां इंजीनियर बनने आ रहे हैं, जहां देश की दुनिया की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण टेक्नोलॉजी पे रिसर्च होनी है, वहां आप संस्कृत के पढ़ने में उलझाएंगे तो मुझे लगता है फिर आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा कि आईआईटी है क्या।
किस भाषा की पढ़ाई हो, ये छोड़ देना चाहिए पढ़ने वालों पे, छोड़ देना चाहिए उस शिक्षण संस्थानों पे। मैं नहीं समझता कि आईटीआई पढ़ने वाले किसी इंजीनियर को अपने प्रोफेशन में संस्कृत की जरूरत पड़े।
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has dismissed Vijay Mallyas' request for protection from disclosure of his and his family's assets in India and abroad. The Apex Court has sought the disclosure to Kingfisher Airlines lenders. While dismissing the request, the Apex Court ruled no tangible grounds have been raised to maintain secrecy of information. The bench directed the Apex Court registry to furnish the lenders a consortium of banks the details of assets, both domestic and foreign, declared by the former liquor baron of himself and his family members in a sealed cover to the Apex Court. The top court, which said Malya has not complied with its April 7th order in its letter and spirit, observed that the whole purpose of asking for disclosure was to give a fair idea to banks for entering into a meaningful and viable settlement. It asked the Debt Recovery Tribunal in Bengaluru to expeditiously decide within 2 months the pleas of banks and financial institutions for recovery of their loans. The direction was issued after Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi submitted that there was total non-compliance with the Apex Court's April 7th order as Malya. He also said that Malya is a fugitive from justice in India and said he was playing hide and seek and cooking up cock and bull stories. The AG also said that Malya had no intention to return to India. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to The Quest. Another very special guest on The Quest, Union Minister in Government of India, Mr. Kalraj Mishra.
प्रधानमंत्री जी की मंशा है कि हमारा युवा रोजगार देने वाला हो, रोजगार के लिए हाथ फैलाने वाला ना हो। खादी की गुणवत्ता के लिए हमने डिजाइन में परिवर्तन किया है, हमने पहनावे की दृष्टि से भी परिवर्तन किया है। भारत के टैलेंट को दुनिया के लोग अपनी तरफ खींचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Watch The Quest with Kalraj Mishra only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, trade unions have given a call for a day-long nationwide protest on Friday against Finance Ministry's decision to fix 8.7% interest rate for Provident Fund subscribers. The rate is lower than the 8.8% decided by the EPFO. The trade union has called the move an arrogant anti-worker approach by the government. Unions include Indian National Trade Union Congress, All India Trade Union Congress, Centre of Indian Trade Unions and All India United Trade Union Centre. The union strongly denounced the unilateral reduction in interest rate on Employees Provident Fund from 8.8% to 8.7%, ignoring the unanimous decision of the tripartite Central Board of Trustees of the EPFO. CBT, which is headed by the Labour Minister, is the apex decision-making body of the Employees Provident Fund organisation. It is probably for the first time that the Finance Ministry has overruled the decision of the Central Board of Trustees on the interest rate. PTI is quoting a top Finance Ministry official as saying that there is no question of going back on the decision to fix interest rate at 8.7%. Meanwhile, a day after the massive fire that destroyed the National Museum of Natural History in the FICCI building in New Delhi, the government has announced that a replacement for the museum will be built on a 6.5-acre land near Pragati Maidan for an estimated cost of 225 crore rupees. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar had described the fire mishap as unfortunate and ordered a safety audit of all museums under his ministry. Javadekar also said that the building was a rented property and not the ministry's property. In the wee hours of Tuesday, the fire broke out on the top floor of the museum in FICCI building and quickly spread to all the other floors. The fire gutted exhibits of plants and animals, including a 160 million year old dinosaur fossil. About 40 fire tenders were pressed into service and it took more than 4 hours to douse the blaze. 6 of the firefighters were seriously injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. Though the cause of the fire is yet to be determined, the police have ruled out sabotage.
Immediately, I have ordered energy and fire audit of all our establishments all over the country, because this is one important, because we have 34 museums, ZSI and BSI, all put together. So we will definitely, and thousands of people visit daily, so we will take care that such incidents don't happen.
You know, every building I know is a fire hazard. You know, wires, open wires, the way we're not very conscious of the need for safety, and all our buildings are really fire hazards. And I hope this is a wake-up call for all our buildings.
Meanwhile, senior officials of 14 countries met at the Heart of Asia conference in New Delhi on Tuesday. India made a strong pitch for enhancing connectivity to ensure prosperity of Afghanistan and the whole of the Heart of Asia region at the conference, which was co-chaired by India and Afghanistan. The Heart of Asia Istanbul process was established to provide a platform to discuss issues related to Afghanistan and aims to bring peace and stability in the country. Besides India, the Heart of Asia initiative involves 13 other countries, including China, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, who have agreed to continue to contribute to the ongoing political, security and economic transformations in Afghanistan. Well, moving on now, Foreign Secretary Subramaniam Jaishankar held a meeting with his Pakistani counterpart Azaz Ahmad Chowdhury on the sidelines of the Heart of Asia conference in New Delhi on Tuesday. India has asked Pakistan to crack down on terror groups. Here's a report.
At the India-Pakistan Foreign Secretary talks, India seeking early and visible progress in the Pakistani probe into the Pathankot attack. On the other hand, the Pakistani side maintained that the Kashmir issue still remains the core issue. India also sought the trial of the suspects charged with involvement in the Mumbai attacks, besides asking Pakistan to crack down on terrorist groups operating from its soil.
India's Foreign Secretary emphasized the need for early and visible progress on the Pathankot terrorist attack investigation. He also brought up the listing of Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar in the UN 1267 Sanctions Committee.
Pakistan also raised issue of the arrest of Indian Kulbhushan Yadav, who's being accused of spying and alleged subversive actions by RAW in Balochistan and Karachi.
पाकिस्तान वालों ने हमको क्या दिया? पठानकोट पे हमला, पठानकोट के एयरबेस पे हमला, और उसके बाद हम सोचते थे कि हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है वो पाकिस्तान के प्रति उनका जो रवैया है बदलेगा, सख्त रवैया होगा, लेकिन रवैया तो बदला नहीं बल्कि और रवैया नरम हो गया हमारी गवर्नमेंट का, पाकिस्तान को वहाँ फिर आने दे दिया हिंदुस्तान में.
What is your policy vis-a-vis not only Pakistan but all our neighbors? With every one of them, there's a certain flip-flop. We have said that we'll talk to Pakistan on this issue of cross-border terrorism only. Only after that, the other issues will be taken up. Now, what is this backtracking?
India and Pakistan continue to engage themselves in a dialogue process, this composite dialogue process. I hope the very meeting itself is positive.
The talks between Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar and his Pakistani counterpart Azaz Ahmad Chowdhury come ahead of the Heart of Asia conference. It is the first time the two foreign secretaries are meeting after the comprehensive bilateral dialogue was first announced in Islamabad last December. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Supreme Court on Tuesday extended the stay of Italian Marine Massimiliano Latorre in his home country till September 30th this year. Latorre, who along with his colleague Salvatore Girone is accused of killing two fishermen off Kerala coast in 2012. The court asked the Italian authorities for a fresh undertaking before April 30th. The court was informed by the centre that international arbitration proceedings in the matter would be completed only by December 2018. Earlier, the Apex Court had stayed all criminal proceedings against the trial of the two Marines, saying the proceedings would remain stalled till the jurisdictional issue was decided through international arbitration. Meanwhile, the Italian Foreign Ministry said in a statement that it considers the Indian jurisdiction in the matter suspended since the International Tribunal for the Sea ruled that India and Italy should suspend all internal judicial actions while arbitration is pending. The two Marines who were on board the ship Enrica Lexi are accused of killing two Indian fishermen off the Kerala coast on February 15, 2012.
Government of India is allowing Italian Marines to stay in Italy. This is against fishermen's attitude.
Well, 5 northeastern states in the United States held primary presidential elections, including Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania and Rhode Island. Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton won big, while their rivals struggled to meet the numbers. Real estate tycoon Donald Trump has swept the East Coast primaries after posting big wins in all 5 northeastern states, while Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton won in Maryland, Delaware and Pennsylvania. Trump's victories came in Maryland, Connecticut, Delaware, Pennsylvania and Rhode Island. Though the clean sweep is expected to give a big boost to his White House ambitions, he would still fall a few hundred delegates short of the 1,237 required to bag the presidential nomination. In Connecticut, Clinton was facing a tough challenge from her Democratic rival Bernie Sanders. The Vermont senator was leading by a small margin in Rhode Island. The wins in the 3 states also takes Clinton closer to earning the Democratic presidential nomination, though she is still short of the required 2,383 delegates.
But I just want to thank everybody. This is a far bigger win than we even expected, all 5. And that's something that's really something.
Well, that's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.